Oops. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Anchor Moments Atomic Habits Weight Loss Book Club. Yay! And today we are going to be going over chapter 16, which was a really awesome chapter. And I think it's probably going to make the biggest difference in my weight loss. And I'll be sharing with you weekly if it really has, but I think so. Chapter 16 is called How to Stick with Good Habits Every Day. And in it, it talks about different ways to have a good habit tracker. And by tracking your good habits, it feeds that joy of being able to go, I did it today. And when you see by keeping track that you're making a difference and that you're completing those good habits, it encourages you to do it even more. I know for me, I have talked on my Monday group. I have type 2 diabetes and I take Mounjaro as a medication to help lower my blood sugar, but it also has the bonus of helping people lose weight because it takes away a lot of your food noise and keeps you full longer after you've eaten something because it slows the emptying of your stomach, and so that you're not as hungry. And it's been really helpful for me. So if you're here and you are taking any GLP-1 medication like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, any of those, or if you're on a weight loss journey and you're not taking any medication, like my husband Jeff, who doesn't have type 2 diabetes, and he does great. When he tracks his good habits, he loses weight really pretty easily. And so he's on this journey with us too, and hopefully we'll see him in a few minutes. Please write down in the chats today. Give us a hi so we know you're there. And if you've had any wins this week, please share those wins so we can help celebrate you. And if you read chapter 16 and there is something in chapter 16 that really touched your heart that's going to help you make a difference in your life, let us know, because you know what? You may have an idea that one of us didn't think of, and it will make a difference for somebody else. So be sure to share any thoughts you have and anything you're going to do that's going to change your behavior to help you put a vote in for the person that you want to be. Because that's the big thing that I found was really mind-blowing. I think it was chapter 4 or chapter 5. The thumbnail of that one, I have an atomic explosion above my head. I'm like, wow, mind-blowing. But it is mind-blowing that we get to choose through our habits the kind of person we want to become. And I want to become someone who's healthy, who has energy, who can hike mountains and not get too tired. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for a healthier version of myself. And when you have type 2 diabetes, oh my gosh, there's horrible things that can happen to you because it can hurt every system in your body, and you can lose limbs, all kinds of things. And I don't want that to take over. And I know if I can get control over my blood sugar and over my weight, I will live a longer, happier life. And so that's what I'm shooting for. And if you are on a similar journey, you are in the right place. And with our weight loss book club, we only read one chapter a week. I mean, people can read more than that if they want, but that's all that we're shooting for, because you know what? It's not that hard, because there's 10 pages or less every week that you would need to read if you wanted to stay on top of the book. But anyway, I'm going to go over some of the things that are in the book this week. And then I'm going to be giving shout outs to everybody who's writing in the chat, who's live with me right this minute. And we do go live every Sunday at this time, 1 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern, and 9 o'clock for my friends in the UK and other places in the world across the ocean. Okay, let's see. In this book, it starts off in the beginning and it talks about a gentleman who was really young, about the age of my son, who's 25. And he needed to make business calls. And so to be sure that he was hitting his sales goals, he did a paperclip method. And he put 120 paper clips in one cup, and then he had an empty cup at the beginning of his day. And after he made each sales call, he'd move a paper clip into the other bucket. And he kept doing it until he knew he made at least 120 sales calls. Well, that made that young fellow do extremely well with his company. His company made $5 million because of him that first year, and it raised his salary. So at the time, he was making $75,000 in a year, which they said was around $125,000, and that was in 2018 when James Clear wrote this book. So that's worth even more than that. But being consistent and where he could actually see what he was doing made a difference. It talked about Ben Franklin. When Ben Franklin was 20 years old, he had 13 different things he tried to do every single day that he would mark off if he did it. And he ended up to be quite an amazing human being in the United States history. But it was being able to check off each night before he went to bed, being able to check off how many of his 13 habits that he wanted to have completed done. And it made a huge difference in his life. We have a comedian in America named Jerry Seinfeld, who's so funny. He made himself every single day write a new joke. And it didn't matter if the joke was good or not, but by making a joke every single day, and he would track it and be sure that he could mark off that he wrote a joke each day, well, that gave him a lot of great jokes. And some of them might not be perfect, but that's okay because he showed up every single day. And that's something else that they talk about in this chapter. For weight loss, there are days you're not going to feel like exercising. Am I right, Lucy? Are there days that you and Freya don't want to go exercise? There are days that you're not going to feel like exercising. But it says in this chapter that even if you show up to the gym for 5 minutes, and just do a little something, that is so much better than doing nothing. And if you show up even on your bad days where you're tired and you don't feel like it, and you show up in at least a little bit, that'll make a huge difference for you. And you should be able to, and if you want to track it, try to keep your streak going so that way you don't stop. It also says in this book, that this chapter, that if you are tracking something, you can track it, with the paper clips. Some people track with marbles and they'll move a marble into a different cup. Some people will put something in their pocket, like the paper clips, and move something from one pocket to another when they're trying to get something done. And maybe there's 3 or 4 things they need to get done. They'll put maybe 4, 4 little things, 4 little erasers, or 4 marbles, 4 something from one pocket, and then put it into their other pocket when they've got it completed. So they don't even have to write it down. It's very simple and super quick. There's so many different ways you can track things. But he mentions in here that when you do your tracking, if you can mark it on like a calendar. And so say exercise was the thing you wanted to track, and you could put an X on the calendar and all the days that you exercised. He says it's okay if there's a day that you miss. That happens. You're busy, you're sick. You had to take your son to the airport, which we did this morning. So I missed my morning swim because we had to take my son to the airport. There are things that will happen where you might miss a day, and missing one day is not a big deal. Missing 2 days starts a new habit of missing. So he mentions in there, when you're doing your tracking, try not to miss more than one day in a row. So that way you are staying in the zone of still getting things done. Well, here's something that I've been doing. I've mentioned to you, for those of you, if it's not your first time watching and you've watched me on a few different videos, I like to write down what I eat. I do a food diary, and I have a few different things that I'm trying to hit every day that I know makes a difference for me in being healthy and in also in losing weight. So some of the things that I track, number one, I track how many fruits and vegetables I eat. And what I'm trying to hit is at least 4 servings, because I know if I hit at least 4 servings of fruits or vegetables, I'm getting vitamins, I'm getting minerals, I'm getting fiber, I'm eating things that are lower in calorie but high in nutrition. This is part of the person I want to be, a healthy person. And a healthy person eats fruits and vegetables. So I know I need at least 4. And so I put 4 little squares and I mark them off as I do that. Another thing that I want to do every day is some form of exercise, either lifting weights or swimming, rebounding, all kinds of fun things that I can do, going for a long walk, but any kind of exercise, but to do some form of physical exercise every day, and then I can mark that off. Another thing I'm trying to shoot for is I need to drink more water, especially if you are taking a GLP-1 medication like Mounjaro. It can dehydrate you. So it's super important to drink plenty of water. I'm shooting for 100, but if I hit at least 75 ounces of water, that's pretty good. But so I can give myself credit for hitting, 75 ounces of water, but I'm shooting for about 100. But if I've done less than 75 ounces of water, I'm not going to give myself a mark for that. I also keep track of my total calories. I'm trying to shoot between 1,000 and 1,700, and protein, at least my nutritionist says 20 to 30 grams of protein at least 3 times a day. So 20 times 3 is 60. So I need at least 60 grams of protein as a minimum. And then I'm shooting for around 90 or 100, but I have to hit at least 60. And I give myself credit for that. Another thing I try to hit is at least 25 grams of fiber, because for me, taking Mounjaro is very constipating. And if I can have at least 25 grams of fiber, I do so much better. So that is the last thing I try to track. And if I have done all those things, ate my fruits and vegetables, exercised, drank plenty of water, kept my total calories in a reasonable range for me, for losing weight, if I've eaten plenty of protein and fiber. So I guess I've got six things that I try to hit every day. If I hit all of them, I give myself an orange star. And that's what I've been doing, because it's satisfying to me. It feels good to give myself a star. And I highlight in orange when I've hit each of my markers, so I can see how many markers I've hit. Well, I will tell you, I don't always hit all 6 markers, but I didn't track it monthly or weekly. I would just, if I got that done that day, I would mark it, and I have the date. But there are some times where I don't finish. I have it mostly done, but I haven't finished that page, and I haven't really worried about that. There might be a day that I didn't write anything down because I left the house in a hurry and I didn't write it down. And gosh darn it, if I don't write down breakfast, it doesn't happen for me. It just falls apart, and I wait till the next day. But I don't see the big picture. So because of this chapter,
so what do you do then?
this is what I'm doing, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to have you join me. I want to show them my tracker, and then I'm going to let you share what you have for this week. Now, I just started this tracker today, and I know I've got a lot of stars in here, but what I did is I looked through my journal, and I looked through which days I was able to give myself a big orange star because I hit all 6 things that I'm trying to do. And so it was pretty easy to go back from the 1st of August and see, and there are a lot of days that I've hit all 6 things. And I'm going to write on here when I've lost a pound and how many pounds I'm down, which so far, I was going to tell it tomorrow, but maybe I'll lose another pound. I don't know, but I've lost a pound this week. So I'm down 27 pounds right now. And so I've got that 27 and then a circle. And when I noticed that 27th pound, that was yesterday when my scale finally moved again. So I'm going to keep track of that too, but it's going to be easier for me to see, well, look, do I have a lot of stars? Am I hitting? There are some days where I missed 2 days in a row. And I'm now that I can look at it as a whole month, and I'm not looking just at one day on the day that I had breakfast and wrote everything down and continued for the day, but be able to look at the month as a whole. And I really like stickers. I used to teach 3rd grade and kindergarten years ago, and I love stickers. I'm a big kid at heart, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I remember when I was a kindergartner over 50 years ago, if you did something really, really brilliant, my kindergarten teacher would put a gold star right on your forehead. And that was just so exciting to get a gold star that I think, wow, that was just so cool. And you didn't get them very often. So when you got it, you knew you did something special. So anyway, I'm going with gold stars because that makes me happy. It makes my heart smile. I've been actually going through, there was a few days that I was just lazy before I went to bed. And I really had done everything. I just didn't finish adding up a column or something because I didn't know how much protein or fiber was in something, and I was too tired and didn't look it up on my cell phone. And because there's so many apps out there that'll show you how much fiber and protein are in your foods. And so I went back and filled a couple of those in, and sure enough, I would have gotten a star that day. So I do have this many stars, but I'm going to be able to see now because I'm starting this on today on the 18th of August. From here forward, am I going to be more full? Am I going to have more weeks where I have 7 star stickers? And if I have 7 star stickers, am I losing more weight? It'll be easier to be able to see because you know what? We lie to ourselves. We don't mean to lie to ourselves, but we kind of lie to ourselves where we don't always know, you think you're doing pretty good and going, oh, I think I'm eating less and I'm moving more, but you're not paying attention. And maybe you are sneaking a bunch of little nibbles here and there and stuff. And then you're wondering, why is my scale not moving? But this way, you can't lie to yourself. This is helping you to be honest with yourself and to be able to look and see. Now, I know people have different triggers, and for some people, it might be triggering to write down their food. And if that's the problem, then don't do that. Do something else. Maybe there are options. Maybe just pick one thing. And I've been doing this for a long time. That's why I have 6 different goals, because I've been doing this for a long time. And I know these 6 goals are vitally important for me if I'm going to have any difference whatsoever in my weight loss. So anyway, you can even pick one thing. Drinking more water if you don't drink enough water, or exercising, or writing your food down, or maybe it's a protein goal, making sure you hit your protein. If you hit your protein, you get a star. Pick whatever you want, but it really will help you be consistent. And then you're going to be able to see a difference. All right. And Jeff has something for us today. What are you thinking, Jeff?
I think I have 4 things.
Ooh, 4 things. Okay.
And they range from easier to harder.
Okay.
And easy and hard is going to make it'll be different depending on who the person is. Because for some things, or for some people, certain things will be easier for them. Like,
Mhm.
What you do, that's great for you.
Right.
But it would drive me nuts. In fact, she sometimes asks me, Jeff, look up in your app, how many calories is this? And how much protein is this and stuff like that.
And how much
And
fiber.
I can
Yeah.
easily find that out for her and tell her, because there's a way that I do it that makes it easier for me. But I also wanted to show you. So number one is I retired this year.
July
and
1st.
My group at work decided to give me some gifts, and one of them they gave me was this book. And I thought, inside of this little booklet on pages here, I was going to make like some certain letters.
Oh.
Okay. And
Okay.
the date, and then certain letters, and they would stand for like 5 things I want to do that day. And if I got like 400 calories for breakfast, which was my goal, 400 or less, I write a B for breakfast. And then if I did the same for lunch, I put an L for lunch. And then I did the same for dinner, I did D for dinner. And for snack, S for snack, or something like that, to be able to put like a certain number of letters for the 6 or so goals that I want to do that day. W for enough water.
Oh, okay.
And then I would just look in there and I would see on these pages and how I would feel better. Oh, I got 6 things today. Oh, yesterday I got 5 things or 4 things or whatever. And so they gave me a book that I thought I might use for this, and it's called Things I Need to Write Down Because I'm Old and I Forget Stuff.
That's a cute
book. That was
book.
very, very nice as a retirement gift. And so I really thought about and I was inspired by you doing this on paper. But you know what? I thought, that's kind of hard for me. Because one of the things I want to do is keep track of how many calories I'm getting on each of these meals. And if I have an app, the app has a database of all kinds of different things in there.
Jeff's a technology guy, so he loves apps.
You know what?
And I like paper and pen.
If you look at the side of a banana, does it tell how many calories are in the banana? A medium-sized banana? No. But you know what? This app already knows. You can put in there banana, do a click search, and it will tell you, oh, is that a small banana, a medium banana, or a big banana? Oh, great. So I can just click it or tap it, and it automatically knows, not only does it know the calories, it already knows all the
vitamins
nutrients
and
too.
minerals
so if I'm trying to keep track of, I want to get, in fact, it has some goals in this app I'm going to show you that it thinks you should have 100 grams of protein a day. Or you can mess with it a little bit. In fact, I think I did it. It was lower than 100, and I changed it to 100 because you influenced me.
Yeah.
Anyway, or 60 grams of, is it 60 grams of fiber every day? I'll look at it in a minute.
25 grams
when you
of fiber
when you enter all the stuff in there, I'll look at it.
60, that's a lot of fiber.
Yeah, you know what? But you know what?
Pooping all day.
When you look in there, there's a little line graph that shows you which ones you hit and which ones you didn't. So anyway, so doing it on paper is perfectly fine. But then I thought that's going to be hard for me.
So you're just going to write.
But
BLDS.
I could have done that, right?
Okay.
Or I could also do what Mikey, your brother, did.
Okay.
As long as if you're trying to hit, like I'm trying to hit about 1,600 calories in a day, 4 meals at 400 calories each. Your goals might be different, but you know what? If Mike said, all you have to do is don't keep track the whole day. Don't do all the math and stuff like that. Just just worry about your one meal that you're having right now. Aim for 400 calories for that meal or about that.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to remember for that meal. And then for your next meal, starting at 0 again for that one to get up to 400 calories. Okay, that one's done. And you can just do that meal by meal. And that was easy for him. But for me, I use an app. In fact, I use a couple of apps I want to show you today. One of them is called Microsoft To Do.
Oh.
And if you have, you can get an account through Microsoft if you don't already have one, and get this app on your phone. And here I wrote down all my, let's see, I'm going to try and see if I can hold it.
If you hold it at a different angle,
there we go. How about that? Can you see it?
A little bit.
Anyway, I really want to show you here. I'll just read them off here. I want to have a big salad at lunch. Here are my goals for the day. I want to pray every day. I want to get 8 hours of sleep every day. I don't hardly ever get that. But
it'd be nice to shoot for.
Right, you're right. Exercise for 30 minutes or more every day. Floss and brush my teeth immediately after the last meal every day. So it's kind of like closing the kitchen. So I don't want to floss and then brush my teeth and then eat again and then floss and brush my teeth and then eat again before I go to bed. So no eating between meals except for freebie foods. Low calorie
vegetables,
non-starchy veggies, and 400 calories per meal, and 16-ounce glass of water with every meal. But what I want to show you is this. Ready? Even if you can't read these, you see these. Here we go. This is my satisfaction that I get when I do these things. It goes off of my list, and it makes this lovely sound. Oops. It's like getting myself a little gold star every time I complete one of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'll have this list every day of my 5 or 6 or 7 things that I want to complete that day, and review at the end of the day if I did them or not, and then I'll just get the little reinforcement, ding, that I got it done. The other piece that I'm just going to show you real fast is the app that I use for keeping track of my meals, because like it said in the chapter today, even if you didn't figure out all of your goals and stuff like this of calories and protein and stuff like that, just the very fact of having to enter those foods keeps you kind of more accountable. Like you're going to look at it and say, oh my gosh, I ate 2,000 calories at lunch or something like that. And it will help you be accountable and honest with yourself, you know?
Right.
But anyway, but my goal, it keeps track of how many calories that you get in each meal. And you know what? It's really easy just to click on the little plus sign and add a food in. And you can type the first 3 letters or some 3 letters out of the word, and you can choose it right off the list, and it puts it right in because it has a database of all these things that you can just choose from. I didn't want to have to write everything down.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to go look up things. All I want, if I can type in 3 letters and click the plus button, I can get it added in here. And not only that, but then there's a little pie chart thing at the top here that I can click on, and it tells me, you know what, here's my nutrients for the day. I've gotten 38.
And Jeff, how much does this app cost you?
Free. They have a paid version.
But he does all this on the free version, and it just thrills him to no end.
There are some extra features in the
free
version
paid version. Good for him.
But this is free. It tells me in the nutrients part, I can just click on there once. It tells me for the day. You know what? If I'm like before I have dinner, have I gotten enough protein today? Maybe I need to have some more protein for this time for my dinner. It'll tell me about how much I've got so far, what my goal is, and how many grams I have left that I need to hit. And it has carbs and fiber. Okay, the goal for fiber is 30 grams.
Yeah, 30 is good. 30 is good. Yeah, 60 is a lot. 60 is all. That's a lot of fiber. I mean, you can do it, but I don't know if you need to do that every day. That's a lot of fiber.
No. And it keeps track of your vitamins, your potassium, sodium, cholesterol, your different fats and stuff like that. And just putting those in there every day, it'll give you the calculation at the top of how many calories you had for your goal, how many you got, how much. You can also attach this to an exercise tracker, so you can get more calories by burning some off. But you know what? I know I want to have the exercise no matter what anyway. I'm just going to do the exercise, and this amount of calories is how much I want to try and aim for, 1,600 in a day, because that's how I lost 74 pounds, and I know I can do it, and I'm working on it again.
Yeah, because he lost 74 pounds just a few years ago, and end of 20 and 21.
I didn't tell you the name of the app.
Yeah, that helped.
It's called MyFitnessPal, and maybe some of you have used that before. And I'll
type it in on the chat here too.
MyFitnessPal is available for Android and for iPhone. And so my just as a recap, you could write it down. You get yourself a book, but you're too old to remember stuff. So here's your book, and you can do it just by putting codes in here, and then you can see you have 6 goals, and you just wrote a little star maybe or a little letter for each of the 6 things you were trying to hit, and that's one way to do it. And say you don't want to keep track of all that stuff, you just want to do it one meal at a time. You could do it one meal at a time. Just try to hit like the calorie limit 4 times, or I do breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, and or MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
And I
There
forgot
you
one,
go.
but whatever.
Oh, did you hit? You said you had another thing.
I had 4. I don't remember.
You had your book.
Oh, and the Microsoft To Do.
Yeah.
Microsoft To Do is
so you can hit the little
gives
ding
a little
dong.
ding. Do you have anything on there? You want to add any sort of the task that you want to feel good about getting done? Didn't that feel good? Here, let me say, you just got a task done, okay? And here we go. Ready? I got it done.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
all
my
I got
gosh,
for you,
Chef.
Gina.
He's a sweet ding dong. Yeah. One of the other things I
Well, she
learned.
likes the stars.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the
I like the
names.
stars. I do it every other page. So I'm writing here because sometimes I want to see if I have enough, how much protein I need left. So I have space to scribble my numbers down to see where I'm at.
I don't have to do that. My app adds it up automatically.
Yeah, it does. It does.
MyFitnessPal. Highly recommended.
Hey, wanna help me read through here the comments?
I don't have my glasses on.
So. Oh, okay.
You need glasses?
All right. I got my glasses.
Okay.
All right. I'll be good. Okay. If you find your glasses and you look on your computer in the other room, let me know if I accidentally skipped someone's comment. Okay. I'm going to read some of your comments, and then I'm going to look through and see if there's anything else from the chapter that that was important that I didn't share yet. But let's see some of the things that you thought about chapter 16. And see if anyone has any wins to share too from this week. Let's see here. Barb's going to try to be here, and I'm so glad she is. And Lucy and Freya from London are in the house. Woohoo! And Mindy's here saying hi to everybody. Hey, and we got Deb Zimmerman in the house. She says, hi, Gina and Mindy and Barb Vegas in the house. Woohoo! And Taz the Bulldog's mom's here too. All right. And she's saying happy Sunday. I hope you all are having an amazing weekend. And Moon Egypt is back again this week. Hi, Moon. And he says, hi, Gina, and it's giving me some hearts. Or she. I'm not sure if Moon is a guy or a gal. It's hard to tell. There's not a picture next to his M or her M that's circled. And Barb says, I made it. Hi, y'all. Good to be here with y'all. Yay. So we do have Barb. And Lucy says, consistency wins over perfection. Yes. And that was a good takeaway from the book, because James Clear talks about that too, that you don't have to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. What you're trying to do is to be consistent. But if you miss a day, life happens. You just get over it, and the next day you start back up again, because consistency is better than perfection. And if you don't feel like it because you're extra tired, or you're getting over a cold or something, and you're for whatever reason you don't feel in the zone, try doing just a little bit of your goal that day, just a little bit. Even if it's just exercising for 5 minutes instead of 30, doing a little something is better than doing nothing at all. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to be consistent. So you are mostly doing all the right things on most days, and try real hard not to skip 2 days in a row, unless you're sick. I mean, there are some times, but to really try the very next day after you've had a day that wasn't as good, where you didn't reach your goals, very next day, you start over and try to hit those goals then. And as long as you do that, you'll make it. And that is what has ruined my healthy lifestyle journey over decades is when I've slipped up, come going on vacation. When I come home from vacation, I don't start right back up the very next day. I step on the scale maybe a couple of days later because I know it's probably not going to be good. And then I go, oh my gosh, I gained blah, blah, blah amount of pounds. And I'm used to doing all the bad stuff and being lazy from all the lazy fun things from vacation. And then it's hard for me to get back up again and start again. And so then it's like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it next week. Next week, I'm going to start back up again. And then that week doesn't work out. Then I'm like, then the next week, what next month? Okay, after Christmas, and you push it off, you push it off, you push it off. And then all that weight that you lost being good just piles back on again. But that's what's going to be different for Jeff and I, that is we have committed that, yeah, we're going to have, when we go to Vegas or go someplace fun on vacation, yes. Oh, and birthday parties, birthday celebrations, our anniversary, whatever. We're going to have celebration days where we're not going to follow all of our goals or whatever. And we're going to be okay with that. We're going to be okay with that. Because the very next day, the day after our birthday, the day after our anniversary, the day after Christmas, the day after vacation, we're going to hit the ground running again because we know consistency is key. And that's where we've messed up in the past, but we do not want to make that mistake again. That we don't have to be perfect, but we need to be as consistent as possible. And that means to step right back on with our goals the very next day and just pick up where we left off. And I think that's going to make the difference for us. And this time when we finally get a lot of this weight off, we'll be able to be more likely to keep it off, even though things kind of wave up and down a little bit, because that's just natural. But I don't want to have the big gain spikes and the big, I want to kind of keep it healthy as much as we can. All right, so let's see. Ann Lucy says, yes, I made it to the gym this week. Woohoo! This week I will go twice. Great. Because last week you made it and you'd been wanting to go for a very long time and hadn't, and you made it. So that is great. You can start small and then just build on that. And Barb says, Maxie, I'm so happy and proud of you. And what is your name? Maxie's real name is Lucy. And Mindy says, good job, Maxie. And Mindy says, I love tracking. I track my food with my Fitness Pal. Hey, just like Jeff. And my Mounjaro shots with Shotzi. Oh, interesting. I'll have to look up that app. I didn't know there was an app that you can do that with. Thanks for sharing, Mindy. That's great. Shotzi. You know what? I'm going to write that down real quick. Shotzi. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. My weight with Happy Scale, my workouts with Training Peaks. Ooh, that sounds like a good one too. And my blood sugar with Libre View. Tracking and data are powerful. Yes, they are. And Maxie says, my name is Lucy. Yep. And Mindy says, retirement must agree with Jeff. He looks so rested. He is so happy. And he loves that he has plenty of time to be creative. And I love having him home. He cleaned out the garage this last week. So it's like, yay. So it's just great having him home doing stuff with me is pretty awesome. And Moon Egypt is giving some thumbs up. And Barb says, thanks, Lucy. Good to meet you. And Mindy says, even though I'm older than Gina, I wish she was my kindergarten teacher. Oh, and she gave me a star. Oh my gosh, you just made my heart smile, Mindy. Oh my, thank you. And and I love teaching kindergarten. Those kids were just a hoot. And Barb says, I love my Erin Condren planner. Ooh. Stickers abound. Oh my gosh, so it comes with a bunch of stickers. How fun is that? Love putting shoe stickers on the days I walk. It's a challenge to not miss a day. Oh, that's awesome, Barb. And Barb is amazing. She is the queen here. I bow to Barb. She is just so amazing. And she has lost over 240 pounds. And oh, she's just got such great stories. She's very resilient and extremely inspiring. And at some point, I'm having her on my show. Jeff worked on the garage this weekend. He's trying to get stuff ready so we can start traveling again in our RV, and we have an Anchor Moments RV YouTube channel. But it's been so hot in all the states around us, including our state. We haven't gone anywhere. But he's trying to catch up on some honey-do lists that have been building up over the years. And then we are hitting the trails and going places. Let's see. Oh, and Moon says, lovely couple. Thank you so much, Moon Egypt. And Mindy says, the way Gina looks up at Jeff when he's talking, so fresh. Yeah, I never know what he's going to say. But he said, I have 4 things. I'm like, oh, I'm interested to hear those. Jeff likes to listen to the chapter on Audible. And so we listen to the chapter together, and then I read it by myself, and I highlight and stuff. But it's always fun to see what he's going to come up with. And it's always a surprise. I never know what he's going to say and what he's going to do. So when he had 4 things today, I was like, wow, okay, what do you got, Jeff? And oh, and I got more stars from Mindy. Thank you. And Mindy says, ran 3.5 miles yesterday. Holy smokes. And rode my bike 22 miles today. It was a good weekend. 6 days of working out this weekend. Wow. I get 1 rest, or maybe this week. She meant this week. And because she gets 1 rest day. Holy cow. Wow, Mindy, you throw some swimming in there, you could do a triathlon. Holy Toledo, that is awesome. Those are great wins. And Taz's mom says, good job, Mindy. I have been just packing and getting everything in order. However, I've lost weight plus some that I gained last week. Okay, because you're doing what's considered NEAT activities, NEAT. And I can't remember what it stands for, but I do know what it means. NEAT activities are activities where you're moving your body, where it's not necessarily exercise where your heart's racing and you're all sweaty, but just consistently moving your body, doing things, doing the folding laundry, vacuuming, walking from your car, if you park it a little bit farther, into the grocery store, walking around the grocery store where you're not walking very fast, but you're moving, putting things into your cart. Anytime where you're moving, even though it doesn't race your heart and doesn't, it's not like a huge challenge physically, but all those little movements burn extra calories than sitting on your tush all day. And so packing, oh my gosh, actually you can sweat packing because you're doing a lot of lifting to lift the boxes, but that constant moving, yeah, you've burned a lot more calories than you realize. So that's really cool that you've lost weight doing that. Taz's mom, and her real name is Cindy, is Taz's mom. She also goes by Sin. And Barb's laughing, and Taz's mom says, will you two do a live together, you and Barb? You know what? I would love to do. We'll try to do that as a live, Sin, so that way you can ask questions and stuff during the live. Since we're all starting to become such good friends, I think that would be really neat to be able to have Barb on live so Barb can do some answers. And Barb's lost even more weight. Holy Toledo. She's at 245 pounds lost as of today. Woohoo! That is an amazing win, Barb. And Taz's mom says, never mind, you just answered. Congrats, Barb. And Mindy says, Barb is the GOAT. Check her blog at Health at Any Cost. Yes, she has an amazing blog. And I'm sure she's going to be writing a book at some point because she is an incredible writer. The way she tells her stories outstanding, and she has some stories to tell. Very, very, very inspiring. And Barb says, "Dang, Mindy, you rock." And Mindy says, "I am a triathlete." Oh, no wonder. She said, "Swam 1,000 yards on Wednesday." Wow, Mindy, that is awesome. And Taz's mom says, "Oh, Mindy, my brother ran the Ironman. Whoo, that's a toughie." And Barb says, "I just got an Amazon delivery of colored pens and stickers to check on." I think it's underneath the heart. Maybe if I give it, throw some hearts. Oh, to cheer on successes. There we go. And Barb says, whispering, "The podcast will be ready soon." Awesome. 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 Okay, so I caught up on the chat. You guys can write some more things if there's anything else that has hit you from this chapter. And I'm going to look right now to see if I put a lot of stars of things that I wanted to share. So like we talked about before, like the paper clips, moving it from one jar to another, he calls that the paperclip strategy. Even if you do marbles or someone did a marble from one bin to the next after she did a set of push-ups. You could do it for anything. Making progress is satisfying, and visual measures like moving paper clips or hairpins or marbles provide clear evidence of your progress. They reinforce your behavior and add a little bit of immediate satisfaction to any activity. And you also do food journals, workout logs, loyalty punch cards. They said even the progress on a software download, even the page numbers in a book. But perhaps the best way to measure your project is with a habit tracker. And I talked about all of those things. And I starred where he wrote on page 197, "Don't break the chain of workouts and you'll get fit faster than you expect." And make a behavior obvious, attractive, and satisfying. And putting the stickers on a calendar or marking an X on a calendar each time you've had a day where you completed your goals really is obvious, it's attractive, and it's satisfying. And let's see here. And he also says research has shown that people who track their progress on goals like losing weight, quitting smoking, and lowering blood pressure are all more likely to improve than those who don't. And there was a study of more than 1,600 people, and they found that those who kept a daily food log lost twice as much weight as those who did not track it. Habit tracking keeps you honest, makes you less likely to lie to yourself. And its addictive effect on motivation. Each small win feeds your desire. And I want to put a bunch more gold star stickers on my calendar for sure. Tracking can become its own form of reward. And if it feels good, then you're more likely to endure and keep doing it. And habit tracking is also habit stacking. And so he writes on page 200, after I current habit, I will track my habit. So he has after the phone call from a sales call, you move the one paper clip over. After I finish each set at the gym, I'll record it in my workout journal. After I put my plate in the dishwasher, I'll write down what I ate. But so if you figure out one thing that you're going to do anyway, that's a habit, and then put your tracking habit next to that, that is a habit stacking, and it's more likely that you'll get it done. And perfection is not possible, but to do the best that you can. And he has a simple rule: never miss twice. So he tries to never miss 2 days in a row. If I miss one day, I try to get back on it as quickly as possible. Missing one workout happens, but I'm not going to miss 2 in a row. I can't be perfect, but I can avoid a second lapse. The first mistake is never the one that ruins you. It's the spiral of repeated mistakes that follow. Yep, I totally feel that. Okay. And non-scale victories can be effective for weight loss too. So sometimes it's really good to do, measure, do some measurements and then check once a month, or I don't know, once every couple of months, and see if you've lost some inches. That can be helpful. I did that recently, and that's it. So the chapter summary: one of the most satisfying feelings is the feeling of making progress. A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit, like marking an X on a calendar. Habit trackers and other visual forms of measurement can make your habits satisfying by providing clear evidence of your progress. Don't break the train. Try to keep your habit streak alive. They have those sometimes in buildings, especially in manufacturing plants. How many days since the last accident, because they want you to try not to have accidents. And so, let's not break our streak. But the same thing with your habit tracker. Try to keep your streak going for as long as you can, and try not to break the chain. But if you do, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to try to be consistent. Just pick yourself up and the next day, hit it again. Never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. And just because you can measure something doesn't mean it's the most important thing. So like losing weight, the numbers on the scale is not the most important thing. The most important thing is, how do you feel? What some of your when you go to the doctor, and you'll start seeing that your cholesterol's gone down, maybe with the exercise, or your A1C is better for those of us who have type 2 diabetes like me, or or smaller inches, your clothes fit better, you have more energy, you feel a little sexier, whatever. There's so many things that are a benefit of a healthy lifestyle other than just a number on a scale. Okay, let's see. I think we've got a couple more. Taz's mom says, sorry guys, I have to run, picking up my honey from the airport. Yay, have a blessed week. I was at the airport this morning. And Mindy says, Sin, I'm not fit enough for Ironman, but I have Sharpa Ed for many of my friends who do them. I stick to shorter distances. Yeah, and there may be some that are not as our YMCA in Chandler did a small triathlon to help people who aren't fit enough to do like big, huge triathlons, but to get a little feel. And they had smaller ones that people could do.
You know what a Sherpa is?
No.
It's fun, like where you're going up the Mount Everest, and those guys that carry stuff and help support the people who are climbers.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. See, he knows me well. Thanks, Jeff. All right. Oh, I've kept you guys for a long time. So I want you to have a wonderful week. And and Mindy says Sherpa for triathlon is when you go with the athlete and carry the stuff for them. Okay, that makes sense. All right, everybody, have a great week. Next week is chapter 17, how an accountability partner can change everything. And remember, we can use each other as accountability partners. You guys are all definitely mine. And I will share with you next week how many gold stars I got, because I'm going to try to see how many I can get in a row and do the best I can. It won't be perfect, but none of us truly are. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Oh, and Barb says, love to all see you. Oh, sweet. Bye, you guys. Love you.